What's good, people? We back with another video today, and in this one we gonna be breaking down the fights tonight. It's UFC 266. It's the return of Nick Diaz. It's Volkanovski putting up his 145-pound title up against Brian Ortega, the number one contender. This main card's really weird, man, because while I am gonna break down and go in depth in the main event, honestly, I don't really feel like I need to go that in depth with the rest of the main card. Really, I'm going to be breaking down the 4 fights, but outside the main event, I mean, you got Valentina Shevchenko against Lauren Murphy. I think we all know how that fight's going to go. Valentina's going to, probably get the underhooks, trip her, take her down, and Murphy's not going to be able to get back up. So I think Valentina will probably get a, first, second round TKO. Maybe try and send a statement, because Lauren Murphy's kind of talked a little bit of trash. Not so much at Valentina, but kind of piping herself up and hyping herself up as the one to finally defeat Valentina. I don't think Valentina's gonna take too kindly to that. So
she hasn't faced anybody like me.
And then we have Jairzinho Rozenstruik and Curtis Blades. This fight can go one of two ways, as most Curtis Blades fights go. Either he wrestle fucks his opponent and wins a 3-round decision, or Jairzinho Rozenstruik knocks him the fuck out. And I'm picking Rozenstruik to knock him out in maybe the second round. But Curtis Blades has a real shot of taking him down and controlling him for 3 rounds, because we have seen somebody like Alistair Overeem, who's not really known for his grappling, take down Jairzinho and hold him down. So Curtis Blades has a real shot in winning this fight, but I'm going with Jairzinho. And then Nick Diaz, man, he hasn't fought in 6 years. Like, how am I supposed to break that down? I have no clue what to expect from Nick Diaz. And then on the other side, Robbie Lawler, he's 39 now. His last couple fights, he's kind of been gun shy, hasn't really let his hands go. The Neil Magny fight, he kind of got grappled the whole fight, couldn't really do anything, but he did have a chance in the 3rd round to land a couple shots on Neil Magny as he was up against the fence. But maybe Robbie was too tired at that point or something, I don't know. And then he fought Colby, who's obviously a tough test for anybody, let alone Robbie Lawler, who's an aging vet now. So Diaz and Lawler too, I have no earthly idea how that fight's gonna go. But I'm rooting for Nick. I'm rooting for Nick. So we're gonna go with a Nick Diaz knockout in the 2nd round. Why not? So back to the main event. Volkanovski, the champion, 21-1 or 22-1, undefeated in the UFC. Stud, top 3 fighter, pound for pound right now, in my opinion. At first watching it, I definitely thought Max Holloway beat him in the 2nd fight, but I just recently rewatched it, and honestly, I think Volkanovski won. I may have been wrong. I think Volkanovski won that fight. I went back and watched it. I gave him the 3rd through 5th rounds, and then I also went back and rewatched Brian Ortega's fight with Korean Zombie. And, that fight did not change in my mind. I thought Ortega probably won all 5 rounds, dominated him shockingly. But Zombie did have some good moments in there, especially early on before the spinning elbow landed on him. But I feel like with this fight, if I'm breaking down Ortega's side, you can't talk about the Max fight or any fight before then, because of the massive layoff that he took in between the Max fight and the Zombie fight. So I'm only going to be talking about how he looked against Korean Zombie. And man, he looked good. He looked damn good, damn impressive. The first thing that jumped out to me with Ortega was his movement. I mean, he was kind of plodding, kind of just a forward-moving fighter against Max Holloway. But in this fight with Zombie, constantly moving, constant side-to-side movements, never let himself get up against the cage. Zombie was definitely the more pressuring fighter in that fight, but Ortega took it in stride, man, and kind of made Zombie follow him. with those side-to-side movements, kind of circling around the cage. And Zombie, instead of trying to cut the cage off, just kind of followed him. And, following Ortega, that led to him landing a lot and connecting a lot against Zombie, and also led to a couple takedowns too. But the issue with this movement, this new Ortega 2.0 as they call him, he's got a much wider stance than before. And that lead leg is going to be there for the taking. We know Volkanovski, he loves those leg kicks. That's what won him the first Max fight. He loves the leg kicks, man. And with this new style that Ortega's adopted, he's going to be there. The leg kicks will be there for the taking for Volkanovski. He's also susceptible to an uppercut. As I noticed, Zombie landed a couple uppercuts throughout the whole fight. And that it's funny because watching the Ortega Zombie fight and watching the Volkanovski Max 2 fight, both guys are kind of susceptible to the same things. Both guys got uppercuts landed on them. Volkanovski got dropped in the second round by an uppercut. And Max Holloway did a lot of his best work in the first 2 rounds through kicks, throwing his own leg kicks, his own kicks to the body. Ortega did a whole bunch of nice leg work against Korean Zombie in their fight, all throughout the first through the 5th rounds. And both guys are susceptible to leg kicks, body kicks, and uppercuts. So it really comes down to who's game planning for those things and who's gonna land first, I guess. But yeah, a lot of kicks are gonna help both guys. What I noticed from Ortega against Zombie was he mixed up the takedowns real well, and Volkanovski also mixed up takedowns against Max in the second fight. But the thing is, Ortega is so good on the ground, a phenomenal jiu-jitsu practitioner. I feel like the wrestling, the grappling exchanges are going to be kind of canceled out in Volkanovski's game plan. I don't think he's going to try to wrestle, because if you try and get it to the ground with Ortega, you're asking for trouble. So that's going to be a very interesting dynamic, because we know Volkanovski, he loves to wrestle. He loves to mix it up, and that's a massive part of his game that's probably not going to be used much, which puts, that helps Brian Ortega, obviously. But what I did notice with Ortega against Zombie is a lot of the times he liked to grab onto the leg or touch on the leg, just to get Zombie guessing, I guess. Get Zombie thinking, oh, he's going for the takedown. Kind of get a reaction out of Zombie by touching his leg. Well, Volkanovski's 5'6" compared to Zombie's 5'9". And I feel like if you're reaching down low, just trying to touch Volkanovski's leg, Volkanovski's going to be able to land a 1-2, some sort of combination on you. If you reach down, maybe that's where the uppercut comes for Volkanovski. So it's just something to pay attention to. If Brian decides to, just keep tapping on Volkanovski's leg like he did against Zombie. And another thing I noticed with Volkanovski in his fight with Max, there was a lot of feints, ton of feints. Zombie against Ortega, no feints, none at all. If he was planning on throwing, he let it go. There was no feinting, no hesitation. Volkanovski throws a lot of feints, and that could get Ortega to open up a little bit. Volkanovski's not there, and then boom, he catches him on a counter. So, honestly, conventional wisdom, I feel, sides with Volkanovski. But I'm going to go off the script, and I'm going to take Brian Ortega in an upset by second round submission, man. I think he's going to catch Volkanovski. Maybe it's with an uppercut. Maybe it's with a head kick like Max Holloway was able to catch him with. Maybe it's a fake kick, catch him up high. I don't know. But I think he's going to catch him. I think he's going to stun him and drop him and get on top of him on the ground and choke him out. Maybe a rear naked choke. But I got Ortega, man. And new, setting up, assuming Max can beat Yair Rodriguez, which is going to be an incredible fight. That's the fight I'm most hyped to see this year. Assuming Max can beat Yair, which is a tall ask, we get Ortega 2.0 versus Max Holloway 2 in a rematch of their insane fight that happened a couple years back when Max was champion, man. So that's what I'm hoping for. I'm rooting for Ortega. maybe that's, maybe I'm thinking with my heart instead of my brain here, but I'm rooting for Ortega. I think he's going to get him in a second round submission. And that's the video, guys. Just a quick video breaking down the final 4 fights rather on the card. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, subscribe, follow me on Twitter, Instagram. Show me some love, show me some support. Appreciate it. And enjoy the fights, man. Have a safe night, have a good night, and enjoy the fights. Peace.